If you're judging someone for spending their own money, then you need to take a good look at yourself. Jealousy is a nasty trait. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Andri. Today we are discussing luxury judgment, and wow, this hit a right nasty nerve with me. This conversation started when Terry said to me that she felt she couldn't wear her luxury items around certain family members. She had her luxury Max Mara coat, but she also had a similar coat that was a cheaper version of the Max Mara coat, and she felt she had to wear the cheaper version around certain relatives. And when she said that, I was like, I can so relate to that. I have been there. I have hidden my luxury items. I haven't discussed my luxury items. Even when buying a new car, you felt scared to let certain people know you were getting a new car because you knew that not so much they were going to judge you. Yeah, they would judge you, and you know what it was? They would simply be jealous of you. And do you know who are the worst? Family members. So hold that thought. I'm going to read some of your comments and then I'm going to get back to that and my experiences of having to hide my luxury until they found me on YouTube. So I have a comment here from Patricia D, and she says, "Hi Andri, as you know, I don't have any luxury items, but we do spend money on travel. Lately, I've stopped talking about our trips so much. I don't post photos on Facebook anymore, etc. because life is so precarious financially for many people and it doesn't seem right. We save hard for our trips and they bring us a lot of joy, as do luxury items for many other people. But that's just the way things are at the moment, I guess." So Patricia has stopped posting, not because of envy, but because she doesn't want to make anybody else feel bad about their own situation. But again, that is a form of fear of judgment by other people. But she's worked hard for her money. She's entitled to these holidays. We shouldn't be made to feel guilty about what we choose to spend our money on. Terry says, "Andri, some relatives and people get extremely jealous when you wear nice stuff. I have been told that I am trying to put on airs. Jealous people are not fun to be around." Exactly. Jealous people are not fun to be around. Get them out of your life. I wish I had done it a long time ago. I've got rid of those people now from my life, and honestly it's like, it's such an amazing feeling not having those people around about you. I'm sure they're having a wee nosy on my channel, but I don't care anymore. I don't care what they think. I don't care if they're jealous. I don't care if they judge me. I just don't care about them anymore. I have no feeling towards them. I don't even hate them anymore, which I had. But then I realised that the hate and the anger and all of those feelings were making me suffer. Now I don't care about them. They mean absolutely nothing to me anymore. In the video where I spoke about myself having to hide my Cartier bracelet in the restaurant for many reasons, not just because it was a Cartier bracelet, but because you're not really supposed to wear jewellery, you had said, one of you had said to me that your family were in the restaurant business, and or your husband's family was in the restaurant business. I've lost all those comments because it was, I think that was the video I had to re-upload. But anyway, that they had to park their new car away from the restaurant just so customers coming into the restaurant wouldn't think, oh my goodness, look at all the money that they're earning and all of that. Such an old school thought. I mean, I grew up very much, you know, the evil eye. Don't show what you've got. The evil eye is bad. If people are jealous of you, it's bad. You know, all those things. That's how we grew up as a great family. You know, keep your mouth shut. Don't say what you've got. Don't say blah blah blah. I'm very different to that. I'm now, but it's taken me a long time to get to this. It's like, this is my stuff. This is my money. I spend it the way I want to spend it. If I want to sit here on YouTube and talk about it, I will. Nobody is going to tell me how to conduct my life. I mean, absolutely nobody. If I want to spend £10,000 on a handbag with my own money, nobody is going to tell me not to. And if I want to sit here and talk about it on YouTube and you choose to judge me, that's your problem. If you have nothing better to do with your life than to judge, I feel sorry for you. You need to take a good look at yourself. This could also be seen as me being quite contradictory because of the videos that I have been making about unboxings and blah blah blah. What you have to remember is, I make videos for entertainment purposes. I'm very much, do what you want. If you want to unbox every day, this is truly my feelings. If you want to unbox every day, you carry on and unbox every day. If you want to spend all your money on bags, you do that. It's none of my business at the end of the day. As it's none of your business to judge me on what I choose to spend my money on. If I want to wear an expensive coat, I will. Terry, if you want to wear that coat, don't let anybody stop you. That's your coat. You and your husband have worked hard for that money to buy that coat. That's what makes you feel good. That's the joy in your life. You do it. Don't let anybody else stop you. They're probably spending their money on something else. Do you care what they're spending the money on? No. I don't care what people are spending their money on. I feel happy for people's success. That's the type of person I am. So let's go back to my upbringing and how I got into luxury. So my mum and dad came to this country from Cyprus. They both worked very, very, very hard to build up a business. My dad was a tailor. They worked very hard and they were able to live comfortably. My dad was a tailor in Cyprus and he was a very successful tailor in Cyprus and he had his own business. But because of their love story, they left Cyprus and they've moved to the UK. I always said I would tell this story. I think if I ever do tell it, I will do one of these kind of private channels, or maybe one day I'll write a book. My mum was approached to actually write her story, her life story, by my dad's lawyer's wife. And my mum asked me and I was like, go for it, but my mum never did. So it's a very interesting story. And I don't feel telling it here on YouTube is the right place. Anyway, I just thought I would touch on that. So my mum and dad moved to the UK and they built up a successful business and they were comfortable. They bought their own house. When they moved to the UK, they were renting. They bought their own house and they were comfortable. Now, my dad, when his business became successful, he was tailoring for the rich and the famous. That's who my dad was tailoring for, doing made to measure suits. And sometimes when he would go and deliver the suits to the hotels, he would take me along and he would say to me, come on up, help me carry these suits, blah blah blah, and he would take me up into the hotel, and I would go in, and I'm talking like the creme de la creme. Like, I would go in and I would see designer everything, and I would be in awe. So a lot of these people would come to London to shop, so I would go running back into the car where my mum would be waiting, keeping an eye on the car. That was our life. And I was like, oh my goodness, you should have seen the shoes, you should have seen this, you should have seen that. And quite often these people would gift my dad designer items, but my mum didn't really know the worth of these items, and probably they weren't as highly priced as they are now, but they were at a price point where my mum probably wouldn't have spent that amount of money. There was Hermes scarves, I now know. I didn't know then. Now I put it in a charity bag, people. When I was clearing out years ago, I was like, oh, what's this orange thing? In a charity bag it went, because I didn't know. But I knew they were lovely items, but I didn't know it was Hermes, I didn't know it was Gucci, I didn't know it was Chanel, until I got older and I realised. But I remember having that, oh, wow, Mum, their shoes came in bags, and this I would say to my mum. And anyway, I knew they were special, but I didn't realise what they were. So I think the love of designer started to grow then. So I always loved bags, I always loved fashion, and my dad was very much about quality, not necessarily designer items with the names, but quality. But I loved fashion, I loved bags, and we had a market near my dad's shop, and I would love to go and shop and buy things that were fashionable but basically cheap rubbish. They were things that were in the markets and things like that. And I remember my dad always like turning his nose up because the quality wasn't there. He was very much into good quality things because that's what he was making, that's what he was designing, that's what he was dealing with. So that's where my love for these things grew. And then I got married, and Rico's very much into these things as well. He was very much into these things. But it was at that point that I was getting judged, not by Rico, but by other family members. Bearing in mind, when I got married, I was only 17, still trying to find my style, and it felt I could never get it right. I was getting judged. It was either not good enough, or I was trying to be somebody that I wasn't, or why am I dressing and looking like that? I always felt judged. Then as I started to grow and I started to know my style, I then started to want the designer items. But again, when you're surrounded by people that are not into these designer items, they can understand why you would spend £500 on a scarf, or why you would spend £500 on a pair of shoes. Rico accommodated. He knew I loved them. He bought me my first pair of Christian Louboutins. I kind of started, my more expensive bags were Radley bags, and then started moving on from there. Again, this is a subject I have spoken about. You start at a level and you start moving up, and that's the natural course of things. I'm still at the Chanel level. I have not reached the Hermes bag level yet. Not because I can't, but because I just can't be bothered, basically. And I question myself, would I just want an Hermes bag because it's an Hermes bag and you're moving on to the next step, or do you actually want an Hermes bag? I'm now at that age where I just don't go with the flow. I need to really know it's something that I want. Anyway, so that's how I got into things, and boy, when I got into the designer things, I felt I had to hide them. I felt I was getting judged. Where did she find the money? Why is she spending her money on this? Why that? And it wasn't even about bags. It was like, if I decorated my bedroom and I put fitted wardrobes, I knew certain family members were jealous. That's it. It's not even judging. It was simply jealousy. That's what judgment comes down to. Jealousy. And again, ask yourself why. Why are you jealous of that person? Go and do your own thing. If you're not into designer things, let that person be into designer things. I am so thankful that now I really don't care. I don't care what these people think. I hold my head up high. This is who I am. This is what I like. This is what I enjoy. It's my money and I do as I please with it. And that's what you should do. I know a lot of you have your Instagrams at private, and it's not because of security reasons. It's because you're afraid of the judgment that your family will give you. I have opened up my Instagram. I'm here on YouTube. I'm quite open about my YouTube now because it's my thing. I enjoy it. Nobody, like I said, is going to tell me what to do. Nobody's judgment is going to stop me. Why should I allow somebody else's judgment, somebody else's jealousy, stop me from buying what I want or doing what I want? And it took me a long time to realise that. I wish I had stood up for myself to certain people a lot earlier than I had. I stood up to them. I hadn't before, out of respect. I lost the respect for certain people and I stood up for myself, and I now do what I choose to do and what makes me happy. Don't let anybody stop you. Don't let anybody's judgment stop you. Don't let anybody's jealousy stop you. It's your life. So that's my thoughts on being judged. Not just on being judged about luxury, but being judged in general. I hope you have enjoyed the video. I look forward to seeing your comments down in my comments. Remember, a like, a hype, your comments are always very much appreciated. And if you're not already subscribed, as always, I'll place a nail right here for you to subscribe. And hopefully I'll either see you here, or on the next one. Bye!